Happy Sunday, December 12th. Week 14 of the NFL season is here. I'm going for my 7th straight winning week. I had a rough week at work, and it weighed on me, and I needed the last 36 hours or so, and I'm so pumped up for today. Yesterday, I only made one bet all day. Flyers -1 plus 104. That cashed, and I'm rejuvenated, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Great to see all you guys. We got Real Deal Prime in the house. Truth Teller, Man, Bear, Pig, Brian Watson, the Nuke Worker, Razor, Sharp Picks, Let's Go, Brandon, AB, Professor Chris. We got T in the house. Damon Santori coming to us live from San Diego. We got Puzzler ready to go. We got Black Thor King in the house. Man, I'm pumped up. We have a great show for you guys. In just a few short minutes, Bebsie, Rob Bebenek. Oh, Bebsie's going to pop on the show. He's going to talk about his 2 editions. We're going to go over his full slate of games. And then Alex Pavone will be joining us right after that from New York. And he has 8 spots that he's attacking on this card. So we're going to quickly go over all 8 with Bebsie and Pavone all together. Then at 11:40 a.m., the legend Lodals Loshak, Pistol Pete Loshak will be joining us at 11:40 a.m. And I can't wait because he's only been on this show twice. He's gone 2-1 both days, and that has him ranked fifth in our top capper standings out of 19 cappers. Then we have Connor Mack joining us. And those of you who roll with C-Mac know what an incredible capper he is. And he hasn't had one of those days on the show yet where he just goes 5-0, and I'm expecting it. I know he's going to have one of them for us, and he hasn't had it so far on the show, and so I have high expect. Oh, sorry, and I skipped, I don't know how it is. At 11 before C-Mac, we have Sharpie, and in all honesty, of everybody we've had on the show, now Sharpie's ranked 6th, but he has had the most impressive season for me for the cappers on this show. Sharpie in what week was it? So Sharpie got off to a great start on the show, and then he had one horrific week. And 2 of his players, each he had doubled up on them, and props got hurt. And he went down 7.52 units. And that was week 9, 7.52 units in 1 week. And he's battled back. In the last 2 weeks on the show, he's up 6.02 units. He's had a minus 7.52 unit week, and he's in the black on the show. And I love that. I love digging deep when things go against you, digging deep and getting those winners, getting that cash, fighting back, getting back in the black. I have so much respect for that. I love that shit. I love it. So C-Mac after him. And then the Big Ragu finishes this off. Big Ragu coming off a winning week on the show. Absolutely love this. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. Nuke Warrior says the Cowboys had their home benches shipped to Washington for today's game. Brent Hunt says Chuba Hubbard over in yards rushing and attempts, all that shit. Says Rule going to come out and try and have a Patriots game, run the ball, control the time of possession and defense. I love hearing all of that. Danny Lopez says, can't believe Nunez lost last night. All I could think of was Jose. There was no shot, Danny Lopez says. Nut Flush Allen says, thank you for another bag of cash against the Rockets and Coyotes. Yeah, it was great. Eric Epic Capper says, under in Lions game, big. Okay, so let's quickly just review what's the most important. Let's go over the most important things very quickly. The Detroit Lions are in COVID nightmare. Yesterday, Melifonwu, the cornerbacks, Melifonwu and Mark Gilbert, and linebacker Devontae Beckett were added to the reserve COVID list. So they joined Jamal Williams, Tracy Walker, Bobby Price, and center Evan Brown. But they have guys who are just out with an illness, and Campbell was saying it was a non-COVID illness. Those players are Penei Sewell, Jonah Jackson, and Halapoulivaati Vaitai. So, and then linebacker Charles Harris. They also have, of course, injuries. DeAndre Swift not going to be, his shoulder injury is going to keep him out of line. So they're an absolute mess. They've called up players from the practice roster. Alvin Kamara and Teron Armstead will be in the lineup for the Saints. And then Tony Pollard didn't practice all week with a foot injury. He's questionable. And Keenan Allen out of Sunday's game after the Pro Bowl. Out of Sunday's game. The Chameleon in the house. Great to see you. So then we go back to my action here. We'll quickly go over my action. Then we're going to bring on old Bebsie here to get this show popping off. So I've won 6 straight weeks. I was in the throes of despair before this run came. And look, it's not that good of a record. Like, I've won 6 straight weeks, and I'm just doing okay. 83 and 71, 53.9% plus 4.05 units, ROI plus 2.83%. I was on minus 111. I'm on the Browns minus 2.5 at minus 105. I can't wait to hear Pavone's breakdown of this game with Bebsie here in a second. And it may make me more nervous, but I'm okay. I didn't get the minus 1. I know that if you bet before Sunday's action, like Birdie, he got a plus 1. But I'm okay. Very low VIG, too. I got minus 105. Jacksonville, Tennessee, under 44. I'm very comfortable with. That is now at 43.5 or 44, but I'm comfortable. Chiefs team total under 29.5. That quickly moved up to 30.5 a couple days later. It's still at 30.5 and it's heavily juiced to the under in my book. I got 29.5 with no VIG at minus 105. I'm okay with that. Jets plus 5.5, minus 115. I'm comfortable. Even with Kamara back, with Taysom Hill being unable to throw, skill-wise, and now with an injured finger, I find it hard to believe that he's going to be able to win by margin. So I'm okay there. And then Falcons plus 2.5 and Panthers team total under 21.5. I was quite confident on. We talked about Brady, offensive coordinator, being fired. They lose McCaffrey. They lose Dante, their best corner. I mean, but sharps are on the Panthers. Sharps are on the Panthers. It makes me nervous, of course. So I'm the most nervous about those 2 spots. I moved on the Lions team total under 16.5 on Tuesday. Obviously, they're in the throes of COVID breakdown, so it's down to 13.5. So that's good. But I paid a lot of juice, so minus 125. And then Giants team total under 16.5 at minus 120. I hesitated to do that. Glennon's back from his concussion. Just because I cashed so easily on it last week at plus 105. And in my history, my ROI making the same bet back-to-back is poor. So that is my action. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. And Brent Hunt says never going to play with 88s on their helmet. They lost another great athlete at a very young age this past weekend. And Thomas, we'll talk about that here, I'm sure, on the show as well. And Birdie saying Samuel playing, Debo is playing versus the Bengals. Niners win today. Parlay them with money line with Saints, Titans, Broncos. So that's another thing, that there's 2 spots I'm interested in adding. And I may have missed the boat on the Bears, and I'll let that go if it's 11 or 11.5. I'll let that go. But the Niners and the Bears, I'm thinking about adding to my action. All right. Let's go. Thank you guys for joining us. Week 14 is here, baby. Let's bring on your first guest, my co-host on Tuesdays, and a great capper, great friend, and hilarious dude. Please welcome to the show, old Bebsie in the house. Bebsie, how are you, my man?
Oh, hi. How's it going, Jimmy? How you doing this morning?
Good, buddy. I'm doing great. It was such a rough week, and the pressure was getting to me, and I wasn't handling the pressure well. I wasn't rising to the occasion. I was letting it just buckle me, and so I'm refreshed and I'm rejuvenated. I'm pumped up, man.
Yeah, well, to quote Lois Einhorn, what do you know about pressure?
I fucking love that.
It's a 1994 film reference for you guys.
Well, that's our age group. That is our age group. All right, let's get right to work here, Bebsie. All right. First let's go over your action. We're going to go over your additions, and then Pavone is going to join us, and he's got 8 games. So we're going to have to be quick with Pavone. So when Pavone comes on, I'm just going to quickly introduce the game. Pavone is going to talk about what he thinks will happen, and then I want to hear you come in and what your feelings on it, and we'll just kind of bang it out like that. Let's go over your action here. Now, we're not going to break down the market moves, the money lines, except for your additions, and then everybody else's action. So here we start with Baltimore, Cleveland. You got under 42.5. It's beautiful weather across the league right now, and this total has gone up to 44. Are you concerned?
No, I I love my card this week, and you can double check with Pavone when he comes on, because he's going to have to admit what he did to me privately, and then he loves my card this week. So to get his seal of approval on top of it, I know it hurts him to say that he agrees with me, but he does.
All right. Jacksonville, Tennessee under 44.5. You've beaten that market move by a point. You're with me on the Chiefs team, total under 29.5. And then we come to the two games that you beat the market moves handily. First, Cowboys minus 3.5. Are you even more confident at this point seeing 4.5s on the board?
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest with you, I was kind of stunned.
6.5s. Jesus. 6.5s on the board. So there's got to be news has to be coming in. So this morning at 8:30, it moved to 5.5. And then at 9:40, it moved to 6.5. Jesus. I don't know if anyone can come in and let us know about that. But
how can you not feel good about that?
Washington hold D-line is out with COVID, says Turnsey.
Oh, damn.
Okay, I'm going to get that information up. Okay, so yeah, so you're in incredible shape here. So you smashed the two COVID spots then, because you got the Broncos minus 7.5, Bebsie, on Tuesday night. 7.5, and that has moved to 11.5. You beat the move by 4 points.
I mean, come on, I'm due though, right? I'm due.
Wow, that's impressive. And then Bengals pick 'em. Debo's in. Market's moving quickly towards the Niners. Does that make you uncomfortable?
It really doesn't. To be honest with you, the only thing that makes me uncomfortable is being a Niners fan and worrying that they might be rushing Debo back. They rushed Dre Greenlaw back and lost him for probably another month. So I understand. Look, they are a different football team with him in there. I'm concerned for the health of Debo Samuel, but the corners, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but they lost Dante Johnson to a personal matter, and that hurts them. That's how bad, that's how dire the corner situation is with the 49ers. And listen, if Burrow can throw it all today, he is just going to pick on two rookie corners and Josh Norman, who leads the league in forced fumbles, but also leads the league in defensive pass interference and getting absolutely torched every week. So it's going to be a rough time for that D. Hopefully that offense can keep pace as a fan, but as a bettor, I'm still confident in that bet.
Very, very interesting. And Newkirk coming in. Yeah, I just looked it up too. Newkirk says another defensive end on the COVID list. Yesterday was James Smith-Williams. Today it's Casey Tuell. Wow. Okay. And Chris Drobny says, let's make some Christmas money. Obviously, that was hanging over my week, putting myself in a much tougher situation for the holidays, but we'll get into that later. And then you have Rams, Arizona under 52. This is a strange one as it's down to 51.5 and 51, although Pinnacle hasn't dropped it. The reason why I say it's strange is 55% tickets on the over, 62% of cash on the over. That's gone down a little bit overnight. Do you still feel good about your Monday nighter under?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the market movement is a little bit fishy and strange to me, but again, I just see a divisional matchup, Monday Night Football. I don't see a shootout in this one. I see an uncharacteristic game from both of these guys. Again, it's another spot I really like still.
Sorry, my guy Jomo Kenyatta always on me about the bed box in Costa Rica. There's Lamont Williams in the house as well. All right, so and Ricky Levine saying Stafford 0-19 against teams that are 5 games above 500. You gave us the stat of teams just above 500. How bad those numbers are. Okay, so let's get started with Bebsie, and then we'll bring on Alex Pavone. We have Detroit Lions at Denver Broncos, 4:05 p.m. Eastern, Mile High, Denver, Colorado, 56 Fahrenheit, sunny, 7 miles per hour. Already went over the horrific injuries, and I could give you the whole COVID issues and sickness and everything that's confounding them. The injuries are DeAndre Swift shoulder and TJ Hawkinson hand, and Swift out, Hawkinson doubtful. But then actually Aquara ankle, Jalen Reeves Mabin's shoulder. So those are issues of the linebacking core. But then it's just a COVID mess. 10 guys out with COVID and 3 others with illnesses that are supposedly not COVID related. Then we have for the Broncos, Bradley Chubb, shoulder, ankle, defensive end, Shelby Harris, ankle, Melvin Gordon, ankle are all questionable. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful in Denver. So as we said off the top, this is moved to 11.5. Bebsie got in at 7.5. When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, we have 52% of the tickets on Denver, 85% of the cash. Then we have 42% tickets on the over and 62% of cash on the over. Bebsie, you have a player prop to add to your card. Take it away.
Pretty simple. I got Javonte Williams at I thought a great number. And I was comfortable with this Denver Broncos play. I liked them before the COVID stuff, before the tragic turn of events with Demaryius Thomas, which is just so sad. And I just see the Broncos taking it to them, which, would stand to reason then that Javonte Williams is going to get a lot of carries in this game as they, just control this game. And again, very, very attainable number for Javonte, who I think, down the stretch is going to be an absolute beast for this team. And I'm going to try and beat this move because I think that number will get higher and higher for him each week. You should, but sometimes the books are a little slow to bump that up. And I think it's Javonte Williams time.
Javonte Williams over 67.5 rush yards. And just really quickly, why did you not want to add receiving in there? Why did you want to focus only on the ground?
I think just because I think the Broncos will be up. And so I don't see them passing a ton in this game. I see them getting up early and then just controlling the game.
The next spot before we bring on Pavi is 8:20 p.m. Eastern, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 35 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 11 miles per hour. Pretty nice weather there. Green Bay opening up as 13.5-point favorites. Oh, we have a 12 back on the board. Okay. So I'm hoping that, let's see, where does the public lie here? We have 42% of the tickets on the Bears and 84% of the cash. It just feels like they can cover these double digits. I had to put in my final score in a pool I'm in, and my final score was 27-17 Packers, which doesn't give us a ton of wiggle room there, obviously. But then 53% of tickets on the under, just 41% of cash on the under. And we have Cassius Marsh knee out, Marquise Goodwin foot, Andy Dalton left hand doubtful, Akeem Hicks, Mario Edwards questionable. For the Packers, Randall Cobb and David Bakhtiari both out, Devondre Campbell sick, non-COVID related. You have added 2 player props. Take it away here on your Green Bay Packers player props.
Well, again, this is a classic Bebsie double up. I just have one protecting the other because, again, I think this is a game that Green Bay is going to want to control on the ground. We know the Bears' defense is depleted. And look, we know A.J. Dillon is surging as a running back. We know Aaron Jones is a very good running back. And both reasonable numbers. I think they could both hit, but again, one kind of protects the other one. But yeah, I see this as, I know that Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, and he does. But that's something he's not lying about. But yeah, I just see another ground control game here and a good opportunity to protect one bet by betting the other as well with these dual system backs or dual back systems. So again, feel pretty good about this. I didn't add a ton of props this week, but I just really looked at the 2 or 3 rather that jumped out at me. And this is another spot I really thought I could take advantage of the double up.
Birdie says 49ers win today. Bebsie's way off on this game. Bengals lost their captain on defense. You're only looking at one side, Bebsie. Niners are the play. You're not capping both teams. And to that, Bebsie says,
it's fuck you, Birdie. We're fighting. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, shit.
I don't need to repeat it. It's already there.
All right. Let's bring in our next guest coming to us live from New York City. Alex Pavone in the house. Pavi, how are you?
Good, Jimmy. What up? Bebsie, how are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Pavi, you 9-9 on the show. Another capper waiting for that big winning day to vault into the top 5. Arthur Mead Jr. just sent us a $5 dono. Arthur, thank you for your support, my man. You've backed us since day one. It means the world to us. Arthur Mead Jr., thank you. All right, Pavi, we've got a ton of action for you. First off, with this amount of action, I know you don't mess around. I remember when we first met, your unit size was alarming to me. I was, you weren't making that much more money. We were pretty much making similar money, but your action was way, way, way bigger than mine. And you have an 8-game card here. And now I know we're much older and more sophisticated, more civilized. But you have 8 games, and I know you're going to have a lot of action and a lot of cash out there. Nerves coming into this.
Oh, absolutely, Jimmy. I'm nervous. If you aren't nervous, then there's something wrong with you. I had a bit of a problem, but now I've settled down. I'm using my mind a little bit more and less emotions. As in regards to Bebsie's card, I do think it was a great card. I did get my booster shot the night before, so I was a little, the engine was running, but I don't know who was behind the wheel. Ray Finkel's father. How do you like that for a reference? No, I like it. It's a great card, and I think he's got. I think he's going to have a big day. I'm nervous. Let's get right into it because I have 8 games, and I don't know which one to start with. I'm going to go as quick as possible and give you my reasoning and logic, and and hopefully it makes sense. So
okay, I'm going to lead you into it. So how we're going to I'm going to lead you into it. Then we're going to hear how you feel, and then Bebsie's going to touch on it. All right, so 8 games for Pavi on the board. Let's get to work right now. Pavi opens his card at 1 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Seahawks 4-8, 2-4 on the road at Houston Texans, 2-10, 1-5 at home. We're at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. We have injuries for Seattle: Kyle Fuller, calf; Brandon Shell, shoulder. So there's, your offensive line in trouble. Jamal Adams out, done. Travis Homer out as well. And Condra Diggs, calf muscle questionable. For these Texans, the big story was Cunningham being released. You have Terrence Brooks, hamstring, out. And then Brandon Cooks back, Jonathan Greenard, foot, A.J. Moore, hip, Jimmy Moreland, foot, Kevin Pierre-Louis, hamstring, wrist, questionable. We have this spot, Seattle opening up at -7.5. That was at plus money at Pinnacle. And now it's 9.5. And Pinnacle's now hanging a 10 for Seattle. Now that's at plus 106 as well. This total opened up at 43.5. It's dropped to 40.5. And we have here we go. And of course, Davis Mills going to be behind center, not Tyrod Taylor. 67% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Seahawks. 54% of tickets, 50% of cash on the over. Pavi, take it away.
Yeah, 90% of the money. I'm not going to be a part of that at all. And then you got a road team laying 9 points. What has Seattle done all year to warrant that? Crazy. Last week, Seattle, I think San Fran had 90% of the money or up to close to it, 80% of the money. Public was against them. Now they're fully on board with them. I want no part of that public not being with the team and then being with the team. That never goes well. Houston got slaughtered last week, but they were playing a much better defense. Seattle does not have a great defense. Bebsie, we watched the game yesterday, right? Not together, but it took a miracle, like not a miracle, but everything had to go right for Seattle to win. A fake punt touchdown in the first possession, a safety, so many picks or fumbles. Like it was, and they still had a goal line stand at the end, or they were, in the fifth on the 15 or whatever, and they still barely lost that or barely won that game. So I just don't see Seattle being good enough to lay 9 points on the road, even though Houston is abysmal. But this is more of a knock against Seattle and just so much money on that team. So I'm going with Houston on that.
And now this is one of the few times where, making an official bet here at this time of day is helping. You're getting a plus 10 at -107. Even low juice, plus 10 at -110. Plus 10 -110 at circa. Bebsie, what do you think of this look?
I completely agree with Pavi here. I think Seattle is being overrated, a little recency bias about a game they really shouldn't have won last week, and it's just too many points to lay with this road team. And I said on Tuesday it was Seattle or it was Houston or no bet here. And I just think, I agree. It's way too many points to give Seattle here.
And Seattle can't run the ball like the Colts ran the ball. Like the Colts wore Houston down. And again, the much better defense is the Colts. So that 31-0 score last week, a little, they're not good. Houston's horrible, but it's the Colts are a much better team.
All right, let's move on. Tasha with a quick question. Neither of you guys can answer this, and we know that Davis Mills at quarterback. She says, how is Houston going to score?
I mean, they didn't score last week, so we can only go exactly the same or up from here. So Mills is not worse than Tyrod Taylor's been the last 2 weeks. But valid question, Tasha.
Sorry, my bad, Arthur. I'm all business right now. Sorry, I missed that. Okay, next up for Pavi is 1 p.m. Eastern. Jacksonville Jaguars 2-10, 0-5 on the road at Tennessee Titans 8-4, 4-2 at home, Nissan Stadium. Nashville, Tennessee, 47 Fahrenheit, sunny, 4 miles per hour. This Jacksonville Jaguars team is healthy, and only just Brandon Linder with a back injury is questionable. They're a healthy group. Zach Cunningham has been picked up by the Titans, but he is not able to play this week. He'll be in the lineup next week. Tier Tart, ankle. David Long, hamstring. Cornerback Jack Rabbit, Jenkins, ankle. Tight end Tommy Hudson, out. All out. So there we have that for injury-wise. And then we have Tennessee opening up as 11-point favorites. And this has just been dropping and dropping. We now have 8.5s mostly across the board. This total at 43.5. Take it away, Pavi. What's your look here?
Generally, I would be on the other side of this game. I'd be on the Jags. But this year's been crazy. So I think this is a play where, first and foremost, the Tennessee has 2 horrible losses this year, the Jets and Houston, and the Jags are in that ballpark of being a team as bad as those two. I highly doubt they come into this game unprepared like they did the last 2 games. I know they were hurt against the Jets. They were missing Jones and Brown. So that was the first game without their 2 receivers. Now I think Julio Jones is back for the game, right? He'll be playing, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so they're coming off a bye week, and Vrabel is just, in my opinion, so much of a better coach than Urban Meyer. I can't stand Urban Meyer. I can't stand his face, his smug face, and now he's losing and he's starting to point the finger. It's coming out that people don't like him. I just think that that's such a big deal in professional sports. Like, this isn't college anymore. And I don't think these guys are going to rally for this guy. I think the Titans come off the bye week prepared, and the Jags do not really necessarily care to play as hard as Tennessee would in this spot. That's my takeaway from this game. And the fact that it went from 11 to 8.5, I'm going to take my chances and now get them at the lowest number possible. So generally I would be the other way on this game, but it's just, that's it.
30% of the tickets, 44% of the cash on Jacksonville, 58% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the under, and both Bebsie and I are on the under. Bebsie, what do you think of Pavi's look here backing the Titans?
Again, I kind of want to agree with him here, especially because of the rumors leaking that the team is sick and tired of Urban Meyer. Anytime that stuff starts trickling out of a locker room in a season that already lost season, it's never a good thing. So, I think Meyer still might not make it to the end of the season as head coach. I think it's just a bad situation for the Jags. So I wouldn't bet it myself just due to the injuries to Tennessee, but if I had to, that's where I'd be laying my money.
Well, you benefited heavy, Pavi, off of making these picks official here on the show. We don't give out stale lines unless someone has tweeted out their action. So you benefited in these last first 2 games. You get hurt here. We're obviously talking about the Dallas Cowboys, a Washington football team, FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, 47 Fahrenheit, sunny, 10 miles per hour. We have already injury issues with Washington. So you have McKissick concussion, Jamin Davis concussion, Landon Collins with the foot injury that's been affecting him for weeks now, and Curtis Samuel with the groin injury. Now we have all these COVID issues with the defensive line for the Washington. And so we see this 4.5 get to 6.5, and Bebsie got in at 3.5. So this makes things very difficult. Talk to us why you like the Cowboys, and if you want to let it go or you still want to try and hammer this number. Take it away.
I got it at 4.5. It's already in for me. I would take them at 6.5. The last 3 games the Washington's played, it's been Seattle, Carolina, and Vegas. And it's been a defensive struggle. I mean, they did beat Tampa. Tampa's coming off a bye, a couple early picks from Brady. It was catch up. That game, I'll let that slide a little bit. But the other 3 games, their offense hasn't really done anything. And now the injuries are starting to pile up. If this is a shootout, which Dallas can score on them, how is Washington going to come back in this game? I think when it's a team that doesn't have a great offense, Washington is going to be in the game and they have a chance to win. But Dallas is fully healthy on offense. I know Pollard actually, I don't know if he's playing. He hurt his foot.
But they say that he's going to be out. We just got that in from New Corker that he's going to be out.
Which is a big loss. But, the receivers are back, and this is the first really good offense that Washington's played against in 3 weeks. And I don't think they have the firepower to come back if Dallas scores. I actually think this is going to be I think the Cowboys are gonna beat them up a bit. I think the public is starting to come around on. I know I'm looking at the money and it doesn't look like it, but I think the public's starting to come around on Washington. Like, oh shoot, look at Washington, they're making a push, and Dallas is really gonna put the clamps down and smack them around. I think that's my opinion.
And Bebsie, what do you think of this spot here?
Well, yeah, like I'm already on this spot at a slightly better number than Pavi here, but yeah, I was shocked that the line was that low. I see this as a spot where Dallas just goes out and smashes their division rival here.
50% of the tickets, and that has changed obviously since the COVID issues, but 78% of that is cash-wise is coming in on the Cowboys. Then 46% tickets, 62% of cash on the over. There's Dennis Trusty in the house. Great to see you, Trusty. Jomo says Dallas taking the NFC crown. So there you have the next spot. Let's keep rolling here. But time-wise, we're doing okay. 1 p.m. Eastern, Baltimore Ravens 8-4, 3-3 on the road at Cleveland Browns, 6-6, 4-2 at home. First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. I did retweet our guy Ick Schnizzle on his way to the tailgate party in Cleveland. Gorgeous weather around for this time of year, and beautiful weather, but some wind. 44 Fahrenheit, sunny, 17 mile per hour winds. Patrick McCarry with the hand injury hurts them badly, but it was. Losing Humphreys. To me, I can't wait to hear Pavi's breakdown. And I know that the Browns, even though they're coming off the bye, they're beat up still. Schwartz with a concussion, Greg Newsom with a concussion, they're out. Ronnie Harrison, ankle, Malik Jackson, knee, Jordan Elliott, knee. But everything was explained to me about where these Ravens are right now when Harbaugh went for the win against the lowly Pittsburgh Steelers. He did not believe they could beat the Steelers in overtime. He thought he had a better chance to go for it when going for 2 points. And that tells me everything. And his excuse was, look, we had no healthy corners left. To me, that told me everything. And we've seen this line go from the Browns +1 before the game started last week, a -1 when Pinnacle opened it. And right now we have a 3, but mostly 2.5s. Pavi, I'm fascinated with what your take is going to be. Take it away.
From what I've seen, I've only seen 2.5s. I guess I didn't look at it earlier enough in the week, but I think since Wednesday or Tuesday, I think it's been 2.5. Maybe
yeah,
Wednesday.
No, because I got it Tuesday night at -105, 2.5.
Okay, so 68% of the money is on Cleveland, and then 76% of the money is on a money line. This is a pure contrarian play for me because everybody's saying the last 3 weeks it was the Browns play the Ravens by Ravens, so that plays into their that works for them. And then obviously the Ravens got beat up, and now they're dealing with injuries. They had that Steeler game that was a battle, and now they're going against the Browns on the road. So everybody is, and then the fact that the line hasn't moved to really 3. It's moved to 3 a little bit, but then it's dropped back down. I feel like this is just the books asking you to take the Browns. Like they're just saying, this team is coming off a bye. They played them the last week. It's under a field goal. Come to us. Please take us. So just with the amount of money, without that line movement, budging up to 3. And then I did watch the last game. They couldn't get to not only could they not really get to Lamar, but Baker couldn't really – he doesn't have any weapons. He does not have any weapons offensively, like receiver-wise. I think their tight end's out too, right? He's got COVID, right? What's his face? Bebs, you know his name. Njoku? Yeah, I think he's got
he's
COVID
okay.
problems, right? And he's
Yeah.
a big part of that offense too. So I don't see Cleveland doing much through the air against this Ravens team. I know they are hurt. That's what they're saying. They're hurt. But it's just that money at 76% and 68%, upwards to 70%, and that line not moving to 3 that gets me suspicious. And I think Baltimore has done historically a good job against Cleveland all the time. So I'll take Harbaugh over Stefanski, every day. So I'll, give me that 2.5 points.
Well, I can get you the 3. It's I'm gonna make
Give
sure
me the
that
3.
It's not, yeah, it's at 2 different books here, so I don't need to worry about that. So let's just so it's at Bodog and Sports Interaction at 3, but it's juiced. So it's up to you. Do you want? I bet you I can find it less than -120 at Pinnacle. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna line shop for you at Pinnacle here for the for the Ravens. Okay, sweet. Bebsie, what do you think of him on the other side of on this?
I think this is the first spot we disagree. I just think it's a really tough situation. As Alex mentioned, what everybody's saying, the Ravens buy, Ravens look, but more just the fact that the Ravens, now without Marlon Humphrey, they're very banged up. And I think this Cleveland team, considering their ability to run the football, I think they're going to be a dangerous team down the stretch. And this is just it's a far more difficult spot for the Ravens than it is the Browns. I do agree with the Harbaugh advantage over Stefanski. I just think, I wouldn't bet the other side, but I'd be too nervous for this. I disagree with Mr. Alex Pavone here.
All right, let me see if I can. Oh, they're not doing that. Why can't I? Okay, I'm gonna have to find more alternate lines here. I don't know why. Okay, so I'm going to keep looking, getting you that. All right, let's keep rolling here. We have a Pistol Pete Low Shack on deck. So next up for Pavy, 4:05 p.m. Eastern, New York Giants. Oh, by the way, for those of you who watch the show week in and week out, every single game is covered on the show today by our cappers, and that's never happened before. 4:05 p.m. Eastern, New York Giants 4-8, 1-5 on the road. Los Angeles Chargers 7-5, 3-3 at home. We're at SoFi Stadium for the Giants. Adoree Jackson, defensive back quad. Kadarius Toney oblique and Daniel Jones neck out. Mike Glennon concussion is going to be under center. Kenny Golladay ribs, Sterling Shepard quad, Danny Shelton calf are questionable. And for the Chargers, we have Keenan Allen out. Asante Samuel concussion out. You have Gilman out. And this opened with the Giants as 10.5-point dogs, and it was like that last night. This morning, it's gone to 9.5-point dogs. And when we get over to the cash flow in this game, we have 32,847 tickets in 57% of the tickets, 57% of the cash on the Chargers, and then 55% of tickets and 74% cash on the over. Take it away, Pavy.
I got him at 10. I thought Fromm was going to play. I was actually excited for Fromm to play. There was no book out on the kid. Glennon hasn't been good. I do like the Giants defense. I think the Giants defense has done an exceptional job this year. 10 points is a lot of points. I know they're on the road, and the Chargers are coming off just a dominant win over the Bengals. They almost let it slip away there because it did get tight. Keenan Allen's out. Which is, obviously he's a great player. I just think that the Giants defense has enough to keep them in this game. And, 10 points is a lot. I know they're at home. And they've done it all year. The defense has kept them in games. And if Glennon could give them anything, or Fromm comes in and could give them anything, I think they could keep this within, a 10-point margin. So that's it.
What do you think, Bebsie?
I don't hate this look. I just can't lay anything with the Giants right now. I agree their defense isn't bad. I just think their overall team is bad. And I in no way would have confidence in Mike Glennon or Fromm. I think they're both just terrible. So good luck, Pavy. But I couldn't do this.
So, Pavy, I got you the Ravens. I got you Ravens +3 at -118. So that's 2 cents better. And then I got you Giants plus 9.5 at minus 110. All right, very quickly, let's finish up Pavy's card. So we'll speed it up a little bit here. We have next up Bills Buccaneers. And this game is going to be incredibly enjoyable for us fans. We have, and a lot of cappers are talking about it. I also gave with Pete, he wants me to send him the games to break down. So I gave him this game. We have Tampa opening up at 3.5-point favorites. They've been 3.5 for a long time, and Pinnacle's just moved it to 4. They're the first book to do that of the main ones here. And when we go to the cash flow in this spot, we have 62% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the Buccaneers, 69% of the tickets, 58% of cash on the over. Take it away, Pavy.
I didn't think this line was going to move to 4. Buffalo needs this. They're going to play desperate. They can't run the football. Bebsie hit me up last week, and he's like, don't take the weather's insane. Take the Pats. They can't run. The Bills can't run. The Bucs' weakness is, their pass D. I think Buffalo is obviously going to throw the ball a lot. And if there's one thing that Buffalo has is, they could air it. The Bucs are, susceptible to not playing well in the secondary. So I think the Bills need this game. I know that the Bills need this game, and I think it's going to be super tight. So I'm going to take the plus 3.5 with the Bills. Anytime the Bills are on the road, it's better for them. Obviously, look at last week. It was. I was waiting for Helen Hunt to take a couple snaps. Twister, how's that for a 90s reference, Bebzo? So yeah.
Bills plus 4, minus 109. That's moved that Pinnacle to 4, so we can get you the 4. So you get a little bit of an advantage there. Then the Sunday nighter, Chicago Bears at Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. We have Randall Cobb, David Bakhtiari out for the Packers. Akeem Hicks, Mario Edwards, questionable. Damn, do they need these guys badly? Take it away here, and I'm very interested in your breakdown here. Bears Packers.
I think I've rode the Bears the last 6 times these guys played. I don't think they've covered once. Green Bay's coming off a bye. They're going to be, rested, prepared. Rodgers is always prepared. Every time I'm like, Rodgers, he's not going to want to win by 12 points. And he does. He wants to kill everybody. I know I see 84% of the money on the Bears. I guess that's people hammering the Bears. The sharps are hammering the Bears, but that doesn't really make me too happy. I think the Bears are going to fight. I don't know. This one scares me, but 11.5 points is what I got it at. A lot of points. I'm just hoping they take these Aaron Rodgers comments to heart and just, really go out there and really try to be competitive. And Fields is back. Fields being on the sideline and now being able to watch some games, and now he's coming back on the field. He's going to want to play well. But I don't know. I keep riding against Aaron Rodgers. I don't learn my lesson.
Bebsie, we have 2 spots. Just can you touch on them very quickly here? The Bills plus 4 and the Bears plus 12 for Pavy.
I like the logic, obviously, off both games. I understand why, and if I can at least appreciate the logic, I'm not going to go against it. But look, the pressure is on Aaron to perform after the "I own you" comments. So yeah, maybe that is enough incentive for the Bears to come out, especially with Fields being back. And yeah, like you said, the Bills need this game a lot more than the Bucs do, especially after dropping that game at home last week. So I like it. I wouldn't bet it. I'm not backing it, but I get the play and why.
Last spot on the board for Pavy, Rams, Cardinals, the Monday nighter, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. These are 2 pretty healthy squads going at it here. We have the Cards opening up as 3-point favorites. That's moved to 2.5. And this total, even though most or more money is on the over than the under, has dropped from the 52 that Bebsie got it at to 51.5 and 51. Pavy, take it away. Last game on the card, Rams, Cardinals.
I think everybody thinks that this is that the Rams need this. The Rams need this. I've been hearing it from people. Oh yeah, the Rams need this. Look, the Cards don't want the Rams in the playoffs. This is a big game for the Cards too. It's a primetime game. It's Monday night. You don't want to see this Rams defense in the playoffs. There is a chance that they can meet in the playoffs. Arizona wins. There's a good chance that the Rams are not that they're out of the playoffs, but there's a good chance that they might not make it. So the fact that I see 81% of the money line on the Rams, I'm very confused. What Arizona? I'm one of the people who thinks Arizona was gonna start to get worse as the season went along, and they've proven me wrong. And I don't think that this is a spot for the Rams to start showing their potential and Arizona to start regressing. Like I don't think this is the spot for that. So I'm going to trust Arizona in this spot at home, and really they have their foot on their necks. They could end their season if they want, or close to. So give me the Rams. They got a good. Give me the Cards. They got a good defense, man.
And you're laying less than a field goal. Bebsie, what do you think of that spot backing the Cards here?
I said it on Tuesday. Matt Stafford, lifetime, 9-70 against teams with a winning record. 9-70.
Yeah, he did tell me that, and I listened. So thanks, Bebs. I got you to blame if they lose.
Yep.
So here are Pavy's 8 spots on the card before we are joined by Pistol Pete Loshak. Texans plus 10 at minus 110. Titans minus 8.5 at minus 110. Cowboys minus 6.5 at minus 105. Ravens plus 3 at minus 118. Giants plus 9.5 at minus 110. Bills plus 4 at minus 109. Bears plus 12 at minus 110. Cards minus 2.5 at minus 107. If any of our we be pubbing cappers are in New York, where can they see you next, Pavy? Where are you next?
I'm at the comic strip tomorrow, 8:00.
Comic strip Monday night, 8 p.m. Pavy, thank you so much for joining us, my man. Pavy is back on Twitter. He had a big Twitter account years ago and shut it down, building one up. And now Mr. Alex Pavone, follow him on Twitter. Pavy, much love to you. Thank you for rolling with us, my guy.
Good luck, guys. Good luck. Have a good day.
There's Pavy. Bebsie, my man. I do like your card as well. Let's have a giant day. I'll be in touch with you. I know you're gigging tonight, but I'll be in touch with you throughout the day. Thank you for rolling with us as always, and can't wait to cap the card with you on Tuesday.
Pleasure, my man. We'll talk to you throughout the day, buddy.
Much love, man. There he is, old Bebsie and Pavy both rolling here. Next up, we have my co-host on Tuesday nights and the man that many of us have looked up to as we started our careers in the industry. And I am one of those as well. So to have him join us on a Sunday puts a big smile on my face. Please welcome the legend Loshak in the house. Pistol Pete, how are you?
Overall, I'm doing okay. When it comes to these 3 specific games we're going to talk about right now, I don't know how I'm doing, but overall, I think is what you're asking. I'm doing okay, Jim. These are, I ask you specifically to send me whatever games you want me to cover in these segments. And, the last couple weeks, they were tough games, but I felt like I had some plays that I believed in. I'm going to give some plays on these one, but you really laid it on me this week, Jimmy. The bag 3 tough games and sets of odds here.
Yes, with the COVID issues in the Washington game, I would have, if I had known, if I could have seen in the future and saw that this was going to be an issue, I wouldn't have given it to you. But there are, Pavy just moved on the Cowboys at 6.5. So I do apologize that the things unfolded this way, but we are very happy to have you joining us on our Sunday show. Pete,
I asked for it, Jimmy the Bag. I take personal responsibility. The reason I have 3 fucked up games to handicap right now is because that's what I asked for. So I'm going to take personal responsibility for that, Jim.
Pete has joined us on week 1 and week 11. Both weeks he's gone 2-1. So he's ranked 5th out of our 19 cappers who've joined the show. 4 wins, 2 losses, plus 1.89 units. And I'm very impressed with that, going 2-1. I mean, if you could keep that shit going, I mean, it's just magic. Let's get to work. It's Cowboys, Washington. We've already broken down the issues with Washington injury-wise and now COVID-wise. And Dallas doesn't have Tony Pollard, but they're foaming at the mouth. They see an opportunity here to sink their teeth into a division rival. We opened at 3.5. That's when Bebsie got it. It moved to 4.5 throughout the week, and even 4. And now with the COVID news, it's gone to 6.5. This total opened up at 49. It's down to 48. When we get to the cash flow in this spot, 48,660 tickets in. 51% of the tickets are on Washington, but just 23% of the cash. 47% of the tickets on the over, and 62% of that cash. Pistol Pete, take it away here, Cowboys, Washington.
Well, I was going to hesitantly give Dallas as an official pick when I saw it at 4.5, but I just saw today the move to 6.5. And my other play that I was thinking about that might be my official play would be the Washington team total under, which I am seeing at Pinnacle at 21.5, like -126 or something like that. I mean, the Washington receiving core is banged up. And Dallas has been vulnerable against the run. Washington runs a lot, so if Washington gets held down, it's because Dallas makes a bit of an improvement, which wouldn't be a shock, but a bit of an improvement with their run defense, and also that Jimmy G doesn't burn them and save the day, which I suspect might not happen here. So I guess I'm leaning Dallas even at 6.5. Definitely thinking about the Washington team total under, and I mean the other big issue is just is what's up with Dallas's offense. Were there excuses for their recent swoon, or is that just now kind of a little bit of a reflection of just who they are? Is that who they are right now? It's not clear. It's a tough game, which is why this is on the 3-game card that you handed to me. But I do think that that Dak Prescott now with the healthy offensive line and the receivers all back. I think that I'm leaning under. I'm leaning Dallas. And so I guess my best bet for this one would be the Washington team total under. Also Dallas minus the points as well.
That Washington team total under, I think, is
what'd you say?
Really nice.
The under?
Yeah, the team total under at 21.5, getting that
team
hook.
Total under, yeah.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. At -126 at Pinnacle, but it just makes a ton of sense here because if the Cowboys get up, they're going to slow this pace down. They just want to get home healthy.
Right.
And I really like that look. And I can understand the -6.5 here with the issues. And that's at -104 at Pinnacle. But also, that Washington team total under really resonates with me.
Washington blitzes a lot, right? And obviously Prescott is great against the blitz. So I'm assuming that Washington is aware of that, and they're not going to blitz Prescott, which will, probably mean they still lose, but in a less high-scoring game. So, if they blitz him, they're gonna get blown out. So I'm assuming we're not going to see a lot of blitzes. They're going to drop back, and I'm assuming that that Prescott will be able to beat him anyway, but not as explosively and embarrassingly as he would if they did that. And then on the other side, Washington's just going to run, and we'll see what they do. But that, it's a tough game, Jimmy the Bag. But that's what I'm thinking. You can throw on the Washington team total under as an official play for me, Jim.
With the Cowboys.
What?
Washington team total under 21.5 -126 official is the Cowboys -6.5.
I don't know if I want to double up on this. You can throw on the Washington team total under 21.5 as an official play. Yeah.
Done and done. We have a couple spots here. I'm really nervous about that spot, Vitalis, and we'll talk about it as we move forward. We have Dennis Garcia saying, I'll make Houston +9. You can get that at +10 at Circa right now, 9.5 others, but says, I hate everything today, but at current numbers, I'll make Houston +9 is the only play you need today. Gas Station Sushi saying my top picks are Saints and Seahawks laying the points. Okay,
hey, Jim, are there any? I'm not looking at the comments right now. Are there any comments like agreeing or disagreeing with what I'm saying?
They're backing it. Curtis Berry saying Washington football team doesn't have enough defensive backs to cover those receivers. Simply, Real Deal Prime says this is a Dallas spot. Nuke Worker says at least Dallas will have warm benches today as they flew in their benches. A lot of Big Joe bets like in the under in that Cowboys Washington football game, and so yes, a lot of support.
I'd love to take Dallas -6.5, but it's still going to be a dogfight. You got a home dog here that's just like who knows what's going to happen at halftime or whatever. So it's just tough in any situation. I don't care. I know the bye and all that shit and everything and extra rest. It's just tough to lay that many points, to give that many points to a salty home team in a division rivalry game like this. It's just a tough thing to do. You know what I'm saying, Jim? Especially at the act end of the number.
I like what you've done. But Clint says Cowboys score. Clint, by the way, after a hugely successful night last night in MMA, is also our second-ranked capper on NFL Pub Hub. Our man Clint,
shit.
He's reaching out. He's reaching out to other sports because he's been killing it in NHL too. Okay, so let's move on to the next spot. Let's let our guy Curtis Berry lead us into this. Curtis Berry says Debo is supposed to play, but with a hamstring injury. San Francisco 49ers and Cincinnati Bengals were at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. 45 Fahrenheit, sunny, 10 miles per hour. Injury issues here, and for the Bengals, the big one is Logan Wilson. God, he's been spectacular this year. He's going to be out this week. Looks like he'll be available to go next week, but out with the shoulder injury this week. And then you have Awuzie, T. Higgins, and Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon being sick, non-COVID related, but we expect him in the lineup. For the Niners, Trent Cannon, concussion. Dre Greenlaw, concussion. Maurice Hurst, calf. Elijah Mitchell, concussion in knee. Emmanuel Mosley, ankle, all out. Deebo Samuel returning with his groin injury. We've seen this flip. Cincinnati opened as the favorite at -1. Now we have the Niners at -1.5. I can't wait to hear your breakdown on this spot. Let me just give you the cash flow here quickly. We have 31,763 tickets in, 50% of the tickets on San Francisco, but 84% of the cash. And we've seen the favorite switch over to them. And then 46% of tickets on the under, but 57% of cash. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, obviously another tough one is Burrow is fine, right? Everything's cool with his hand, right?
Yeah, I mean he was like, he's quote unquote, he's like, it can't get worse this week, and I could play with it at its worst. So he expected all week to be in the lineup, and he isn't.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like it's improved.
Yeah,
somewhat.
I mean, the problem is with my, in my experience, a lot of times if a player has an in-game injury, and then they come back and they're like, running on adrenaline or whatever, and they finish the game great and they've got a broken foot, but they score 1 million points and it's all awesome. But then the next week, the injury kind of like sets in and they're a little bit hobbled. You know what I mean? So the fact that he was able to play so well with it last week, I don't think, is an indication that it's fine, that it's no problem. So that makes me nervous. On this one, statistically, they're very similar, and that's reflected in the line. I was definitely leaning over, and the Cincinnati team total over. Jimmy G, it's if I could easily see the game going under, but Cincinnati still putting up what they should put up. The Burrow injury does make me nervous. And is T. Higgins okay? What's up with that? You have any news on that, Jimmy the Bag?
I'm going to look it up right now because he is I'll look it up right now. By the way, your old friend Charles Darwin is in the chat, and he says hello.
Okay. Hey, Charles Darwin. How you doing? How you doing, Charles? This is just a tough one because Deebo Samuel coming back, he's going to be 100%, and that's huge, Kyle Shanahan historically does well against his former proteges. So there's a lot of reasons to like the Niners here. And I guess I'd be leaning over just in case, the Niners do get a nice win, but it's a shootout and then it goes over. So my leans on this one as of right now would be the over and the Cincinnati team total over, a small lean to Cincinnati, and it's just the Burrow injury, the Burrow finger is like the one thing that's hanging there, But it's just the Niners are so banged up in their run game, so they're going to be passing a lot, and the Bengals are vulnerable in their pass defense, in terms of their matchup over the middle, which is where Jimmy G likes to throw. So the Niners are probably going to have a nice offensive game. Statistically, they're actually a little bit better than I think people give them credit for offensively. And the Bengals should have a strong offensive game as well, unless Burrow is really messed up, and in which case, who knows what's going to happen. But they'll also probably be passing more often than not. And so, so I'm liking over. I'm liking the Bengals team total over. And I'm not exactly sure what I want to make official. It's just, if Burrow, if I knew for a fact he was 100% healthy, him against the Niners secondary in this spot is a great matchup. So, I'd be leaning over. You have any thoughts, Jimmy the Bag? I'm not sure what I want to go with officially here. What have people told you over the week that makes sense to you in terms of this game, or commenters that are saying things are making sense?
Well, right now, the issues to the 49ers secondary is being paramount. So we're getting a little bit of feedback, Pete, but maybe it's not happening right now. So Bebsie confidently bet against the 49ers on Tuesday, and he's a huge Niners guy, and he bet against this team. But we can't underestimate the injury to Logan Wilson. And so now when we're talking about that, so if we're putting the pieces together here, we're saying that the Niners secondary is terrible. The Bengals key cog in the middle of the field is out. Debo is coming back. Burrow's finger is going to be feeling better. And Curtis Berry says over is the better look. Why? And it's gone from 47 to 49. And we have here 58% of tickets on the over, 44% of cash. That's a little, I don't like that much. But with all that being said, it feels like that over would be the spot. Big Joe Bet says I like the over. Lex Steele in the house, great to have you. Vitalis is jumping on the Bucks -3 first half. That's starting right now. That's from our guy Vitalis. Thank you for sharing that. And T. Higgins is going to be in the lineup. So,
right. I knew he was going to be in. It's just like, the sprained ankle is an issue. It's just the Niners run the ball so much, and now that they're banged up, they're going to have to switch it up. But so if Deebo Samuel weren't coming back, I would really love. I would probably really love Bengals here. Over and Bengals team total over. All right, you can throw on that Bengals team total over right now as an official play. I'm seeing 23.5 -118 at Pinnacle. 23.5 -118 at Pinnacle. If you shop around, you can probably get something better. But I guess we can just go with that. Let me just check my my stupid app here. That's probably bullshit, but I'll check it around. What are the comments coming in? They're all saying, "Don't worry about Burrow. He'll be fine. He'll be fine."
No.
No?
But they're not saying they're worried about him. Richard Gersberger says maybe the over is at play here. Don't want to take either team. Big Joe Betts like Cincinnati. Lamont Williams, I'm on the Jets +5.5, but Gas Station came in saying one of his two best bets is the Saints here, and they are getting Ramchick back to go in with Armstead. So, yeah, I like where you're at here. Bengals team total over 23.5. I think I prefer the over in this spot.
If the game goes over, but the Bengals team total goes under, I'll be frustrated. I'll handle it if that happens, and I'll deal with it as I would any other stressful situation in life. But I'll take it 23.5 -118. Current lineup Pinnacle. You can probably shop around and get something better, or maybe not. That's it. Throw that on there officially, Jim.
It's locked in for Pistol Pete Loshak. Those of you who've been following our show also for now, how long's your run been? Your run's been a 2-month run, Pete, across all sports, up double-digit units. And I'm gonna tweet out where he's at just to excite you guys for our Tuesday show coming up. But Pete, you're seeing things very clearly right now, and the pleasure to cap. But last spot on the board, one would say, is the trickiest of all. Buffalo Bills 7-5, 4-2 on the road. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 9-3, 5-0 at home. I had to have you talk about this game. Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. We saw our first 4 jump on the board here at Pinnacle, but it is at +103 if you want Tampa -4. 3.5s have been available all week. This total opened up at 53. It's now at 53 or 52.5. And if you want to see where the sharp money is in this game, we have 39,152 tickets in. 61% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the Buccaneers. 69% of the tickets, 58% of cash on the over. Pete, this is a big one, baby.
Yeah, I think I might go with a player prop here, but we'll talk about the game. This is, I've been doing this quite a long time, Jimmy the Bag, and this is a game where, I was definitely leaning over for all the obvious reasons that any casual fan of the NFL would be leaning over. And then, of course, we saw the big drop in the total. And so when you see that, you think, oh, my God, the public is wrong. Big sharp money's coming in on the under, and they are right. And in many cases, that is true, but definitely not in all cases. And I would say, I haven't kept track of it more often than not. When there's a total or something where I'm really liking it and everyone else in the public is really liking it, and then the sharps are coming in on the other side, the public is right at least as much as often as the sharps are. And we used to see that with I think it was when the Browns were terrible. The sharps would come in and bet them every week, and the public would bet against them every week, and the public won like 14 out of 17 times or whatever. I would definitely be leaning over. I think Mike Evans is going to have a big day, and I'm seeing his reception yards prop at just like 61.5 or something like that. That's a mismatch, and not having Trey Davis-White is a big loss. Dane Jackson wasn't tested last week, but I think he's going to be tested here. It's going to be a mismatch, and I think I'm going to throw on the Mike Evans receiving yardage prop on the over, and I'd also be leaning, just leaning over, but I don't think I'm going to make that an official pick just because, if I give a prop on this pick on this game, then I've already given a pick. I don't have to give another one, but Allen, I think Josh Allen's going to have a big game. You know what I mean? Buffalo shouldn't run, and I don't think they will. Both these teams have been trending under recently, though, so that's a little bit concerning. And you never know what game plan each team will bring in with a matchup like this. And a lot of times the reason these totals change in different directions as what you were expecting is because there is like a game plan that's not like widely known about. So that's possible here. But I have to assume that the Bills, aren't going to run at all. They're going to pass a lot, and they're going to have a decent amount of success here. I would be leaning Bucks on the spread. Definitely not going to bet that, but if you gave me a free play on the spread, I guess I would take the Bucks. Although this is definitely a buy low spot on the Bills, right? If you look at their season, it's just like this is the ultimate buy low spot on the Bills after what happened last week, after how the Bucs have been playing. So if you gave me a free play, I would put it on the Bucs, but I definitely would not bet that myself. But I do think that I'm going to throw in a player prop here for my official pick. Mike Evans receiving yardage over. I'm seeing, what am I seeing here? I'm seeing like 61.5. What you looking around, Jimmy the Bag? Can you find anything on that? Mike,
I can pull up I have FanDuel here. I don't see that happening anywhere. Prince of the City. Prince of the City saying a 3-point change in Washington. In Kansas City game right now. I don't see that anywhere. Prince of the City. I don't. So I keep refreshing and clicking on it, but so I don't know if anybody else is. I mean, the Chiefs are still -9.5 where I'm shopping, and I don't see it changing anywhere. I will look here for the Evans prop and get you the best one available. At
Pinnacle, I'm seeing 61.5 -113. So there's that.
Okay, and I've got FanDuel up here, so I will see if I can beat that here very quickly. A Mike Evans prop for Pistol Pete, and that we don't see him betting props often, so I'm very, very intrigued here.
I like the other two. I'm seeing over 4.5 receptions, -143, and maybe even a touchdown reception at plus money. But I'm not going to touch that. But they're interesting. I just think that that's going to be a matchup that Brady's going to exploit, and that the Bills are going to have a hard time handling. So
60.5 at FanDuel.
At what odds?
-110.
60.5 -110.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Take it.
Over at Bet365, it's 61.5. So, 60.5 at FanDuel is the best one. Mike Evans over 60.5 receiving yards at -110.
And just out of curiosity, can you quickly see what his receptions are? I'm seeing over 4.5 at -143.
Sure. Receiving props here. We have total receptions at FanDuel at 4.5 at -146 to the over.
Yeah. All right, either one of those would be good. I'll take 61.5. I'll take 60.5 -110. I'll just go with that. But yeah, and I would also have a lean to the over 52.5, whatever it is right now. But I will hold off on that one. And if it does go over, I'll be like, damn, I knew it. The sharps are always wrong. And if it goes under, I'll be like, yeah, the sharps are telling us what to do. So that's what I'll do after the game is over. As of right now, I guess I will pass on the total. But yeah, one way or another, the Bills are going to put up a bunch of points, especially after last week. It's a huge bounce back spot for them, and I think they'll be effective. And the Bucs will do what they do. So I would be leaning over. But for the pick, I'll just make a Mike Evans prop as the only official one.
I love it. Pistol Pete making his third appearance here on NFL Pub Hub, gone 2-1 on both his first appearances here. By the way, oh, wow, Bombers down to -2. Newkirker, wow, that's wild. Curb Stomp play today is the Falcons +2.5. Vitalis on that as well. And so am I, and I'm nervous about it. But seeing you guys on it does give me a little more confidence. Washington team total under 21.5 at -126. Bengals team total over 23.5 at -118. And Mike Evans over 60.5 receiving yards at -110 for Pistol Pete Loshak. Pete, you're running so nicely, and it's very thankful to share the screen with you every Tuesday, and wish it was more.
Oh,
Thank you for
thanks for
making it
having
more
me
this
on.
week by joining us here.
Yeah, if they all lose, I'll be 4-5, and then I can just be like, all right, that's not that bad, right? It's bad, but it's not embarrassing, right?
Right.
Okay, good. We're good then. Nothing to worry about here.
All right, follow our guy, Pistol Pete, on Twitter at P Loshak, and join us every Tuesday for Loshak in the Bag. Pete, thank you so much, my man. Have a great Sunday.
Oh, yeah. See you on Tuesday.
See you, my man. All right, we go from Pistol Pete Loshak to your next guest. And for my money, your next guest has been the most impressive capper on this show throughout the season. He opened very, very strong, and then he had 1 week where things broke down, and two of his players that he doubled up with got hurt, and he ended up that week down 7+ units, 7.52 units. And a lot of cappers in that situation would just kind of shut down from whatever show they were on. Not our next guest. He came back 2 weeks later, went 5-3 plus 2.02 units. Then last week he went 6-2 plus 4 units. He's back in the black. He's our 6th ranked capper, 29-29 plus 1.33 units. Average line is plus money. And I find his comeback fucking inspiring. I love that shit. Please welcome your next guest coming to us from San Diego, California. Sharpie Betts in the house. Sharpie, what's happening?
Man, you know the drill. We running behind, Jimmy, so no time to say hi and shit. Let's just run this shit through so we can get to the next guys, my guy.
Sure, but I really fucking mean that shit. Your bounce back here, I fucking love. Let's get right to work. 1 p.m. Eastern, Las Vegas Raiders at Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. It's 48 Fahrenheit, sunny, 13 miles per hour. I know that we need to be quick here, but we did get the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day, and that is on the Raiders plus 10. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. Okay.
I was gonna do a little dance for the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I was gonna. I don't know what happened there. The shit froze on me. I'm very. I really. I've kept a close eye on how you're handling this Raiders game, and I'm trying so hard not to bet player props, and just looking at them has my palms leaking. Carl Nassib with a knee injury, Patrick Onwuasor with a hamstring injury, and Darren Waller out. Denzel Perryman ankle doubtful. That's a huge loss for the Raiders, and your prop is taking advantage of the Darren Waller situation. Take it away, Sharpie, your player props in Raiders Chiefs.
Let's get it going. Foster Marneau, guys, as you said, Waller's out. So we're going to go receiving yards over 32.5 minus 114 on FanDuel. Kansas City's bottom 8 in receptions and reception yards to the tight end spot. Marneau in 2 starts has over 33 yards in both starts. So this to me is just too easy of a bet. We're going to ride this guy to the bank today. And the second bet in this game is going to be the same bet we've been riding week in and week out, guys. We're going to take Josh Jacobs rushing receptions over 86.5 yards minus 105 Caesars, guys. Last week we rode Williams. Williams had 106 yards for us at halftime, okay? This is a bottom 10 defense versus the rush versus the pass, and we have no Kenyon Drake since Henry Ruggs has been out. Jacobs has been super involved in the pass game, seeing almost 9 targets a game, guys. So we're going to take advantage of the rush and receiving with him in this game.
There you have it. We have Moreau to get things rolling for Sharpie. Receiving yards over 32.5. He tweeted all his action out. That's at minus 114 at FanDuel. And Jacobs rushing and receiving over 106.5 yards, minus 105 available at Caesars. There's Ski Profit in the house. Great to see you, Ski. Next player props come to us in the New Orleans Saints New York Jets spot. Saints 5-7, 3-3 on the road. Jets 3-9, 2-4 at home. MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. 47 Fahrenheit, sunny, 13 miles per hour. We didn't think Ramczyk would be in the lineup, but there was a Nuke worker told us that Ramczyk will now be in the lineup. I don't know if, that's just a big deal that he's in. We know that Armstead is in. We know that Kamara is in for the Jets. Michael Carter is still dealing with the concussion, as is Tevin Coleman, and tight end Trayvon Wesco with an ankle injury. They are out. And then some issues on the offensive line with Laurent Duvernay-Tardif with the ankle injury questionable. Let's move over to this is the first show where we've had every single game broken down here on the show. And in this one, we have the Saints opening up at -6. They went down to 5. They're back at 5.5. I got the Jets at plus 5.5. Gas Station Suchi has given one of his best 2 looks as New Orleans Saints as a favorite. And when we get to the cash flow in this, we have 38,597 tickets, 70% of the tickets, 84% of the cash on New Orleans. And then you have 41% of tickets on the over, 60% of the cash is on the over. Take it away, Sharpie, Saints, Jets.
Let's get it. You said it from the get-go. We've got Alvin Kamara's back, guys. And what's even better, Ingram's out with COVID. So all the reports are saying Alvin Kamara is going to get a full workload. And a full workload is 10 to 20 carries, depending on, and 5 to 10 targets. So why? We're going to freaking roll out 105.5 rushing and receiving yards with Kamara, guys. It's at minus 110 at Caesars. It's just too simple. He's one of the best third or every down back in the NFL, guys, and he's healthy. They've held him out this many weeks to make sure he was healthy. They could have brought him back 3 weeks ago. He's been at practice for 3 weeks. They made sure today was the day to bring him back. And why not run it versus the 29th rush, 29th pass defense? The Jets are going to give it up, guys, and Kamara's going to eat today. So Kamara's the simplest bet. And the next bet here, guys, it's probably the ugliest bet on the board, but those ugly ones cash. And I don't want to watch this game. I just want to look at the box score. We're going to go Taysom Hill, guys. He is the worst quarterback in the NFL. Straight up, he cannot throw a football. He looks bad, dude. I turned off the game. I had money on him last time and ended up just cashing it, dude. But it's a sweat, and we're going to ride this sweat, okay? It's 255.5 for his passing and rushing. Like, why would you add both, guys? Why didn't you just want to run his rush? He's a rushing quarterback, Sharpie, blah, blah, blah. If you look at his 5 starts and you take out the one versus Denver, like I said last week, they played Denver last year, and they started a 4th-string wide receiver at quarterback. So throw those stats out the freaking game. Every other game, he's averaging 346 scrimmage yards. Like, that's a whole 100 yards more than what this dude's putting out every freaking week. So that's just a stupid number at 255, guys. He's averaging 346. So until they freaking adjust it, I'm going to take it, plug my nose, and cash it.
Taysom Hill pass and rush over 255.5 yards, minus 115 at DraftKings. Kamara rushing and receiving over 105.5 yards, minus 110 at Caesars. Then we get to the game that, we all are very, very interested in. Nuke Worker lamenting the idea that it's going to be playing while the Grey Cup is playing. I will be at a poker game, and hopefully we'll be going back and forth because I care very, very much. I care more about the Grey Cup game than this game. But it's a huge game in week 14 here. Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We've talked about it, and I can't wait to hear what you think. If you can also add a little touch on Peter Loshak's prop, because I almost never see him give out player props. I don't remember him doing this, so I can't wait to hear what guys in the chat think. He's on Mike Evans over 60.5 receiving yards. We got player props from Sharpie here, both on the Buffalo Bills. Sharpie, take it away.
Hey, and after this, I have 2 more unders to add. I'll be really quick. I was trying to be as quick as possible with this. So, Buffalo Bills, guys, we already know. What is Sharpie going to bet? We're going to bet Josh fucking Allen rush yards over 33.5, guys. Why? Because he keeps freaking cashing it, guys. Tampa Bay is number 1 versus the rush. The Bills can't run the ball, but Josh Allen can run the ball, guys. And in any game that's been within 20 points, he is 9-10 to his rush yards over. Is Tampa Bay going to blow out the Bills today? I don't fucking think so. So as long as this game stays within 20 points, he cashes it. And especially how bad they played and lost last week, he is going to have more oomph and will to want to push it. So this guy's going to take off when he can. We already know you're not going to run it up the middle on these guys. So it's Josh Allen rush props once again. And you should have known that one was coming. Next one in this game, guys, we're going to Cole Beasley receptions over 4.5 minus 115 on DK. The Bucs are really good versus the deep ball, guys. That's fine. We're not looking to go deep ball, guys. This is a Cole Beasley type day. I see him from anywhere from 6 to 10 catches, guys. He's going to be peppered. They cannot run the ball. So it's going to have to be a lot of quick outs to these guys and a lot of quick hitches. So I'm looking at Cole Beasley, and I think Cole Beasley eats today. 4.5 is just too low. We're getting that number because last week, guess what? it was shithole cold, and he only had like one. So that's fine with me. We're going to the Tampa Bay Bucks, 20th versus the pass. So, and like I said, they're 20th versus the pass altogether, but they're top 5 versus the deep ball, and they're really bad versus running backs out the backfield and those intermediate crossing routes. So Cole Beasley eats today.
Beasley over 4.5, receptions -115. Allen rush yards over 33.5 at -114. And you have a couple unders. Take it away.
49ers at Cincinnati, guys. CJ Usama, receiving yards under 23.5 on Bovada. Can we use that? I couldn't find it anywhere else, and that's the main one
of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Straight up, guys, I don't want to spoil it and throw it out there because then everyone's going to kill it. Just thank me later. The 49ers shut down tight ends. Shout out to my boy Noli Knows. We've been riding this together. Like, this is something we were talking about, and he bet it 1 week and told me, like, Sharpie, you need to start betting this shit, bro. And I've only bet 4 unders this year. I'm 3-1 to these unders, and I lost one by the hook. So we're going to take Uzomah under 23.5, the Cincinnati Bengals tight end. The next game I'm looking at.
Sorry, Sharpie, what was the juice with that one?
That one was -115.
Thank you. Okay, keep rolling.
Next game is that Monday Nighter, guys. Rams Cardinals. Cooper Kupp, guys, 95.5 at PointsBet, -115, Jimmy. We're going to go under. This has been my best money maker to the over this year, guys. He's 10-2 to the over. This guy has been nothing but a money fucking maker. Why would you go under on him, Sharpie? I'm going to tell y'all, guys, those 2 games were versus divisional opponents, and one of them were versus this same Arizona team. Arizona in week 5 held him to 5 catches, 64 yards. Huh? And his props at 95.5. But wait, Sharpie, he's got over 90 yards in every fucking game this year but that one. That was just a bad game. Nah, guys. In 7 career games versus the Cardinals, he's averaging 69 yards. So we're getting 25 yards of value versus a team who knows how to shut him down. So I'm going to have to just take it under. And once again, it's the best player on the field, and I'm taking his under.
I love it. And was that at -115?
Yes, sir, it was.
Cooper Kupp under 95.5 receiving yards, -115. Uzomah under 23.5 receiving yards at -115. Sharpie, I love it. And I truly mean that this bounce back is inspiring. And I've really, really enjoyed watching it. And now you are a step away from being back at the top 5 where you belong. And you're right near number 1 where you were for the beginning of the season. So these are Sharpie's looks here. And we have Jacobs rushing and receiving over 106.5 at -105. Moreau receiving yards over 32.5, -114. Kamara rushing and receiving over 105.5, -110. Hill passing and rushing over 255.5 at -115. Then we have Allen rush yards over 33.5 at -114. Beasley receiving over 4.5, -115. Uzomah under 23.5 receiving yards. Cooper Kupp under 95.5 receiving yards. Sharpie, go get it, my man. Have a great Sunday. Sharpie, could you please tell us a little bit about your DFS shows on Pub Sports Radio?
Yeah. You know, me, Billy, Brady, we be freaking handling it, that shit. We give you all your freaking injury news before you know it, all the type of backups, any type of thing you need to know prop-wise, guys, and you'll learn a lot of type of information. But the last thing I need to give you for all you single guys out there, just remember, guys, I've always been ugly to a female that don't like me.
That was a fast ending. That was a fast ending. Do you guys plan that timing? That was a fast ending. Sharpie's Money in the Bank and makes capping so much fun. I love that shit. Follow him at Sharpie's Bets and check him out on our DFS. We got to keep rolling. We are running behind here. Next up, and I'm so happy to have him back. We haven't had him since week 10, and I know he's got a giant week in front of him. I know he does. Please welcome to the show, coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada, Connor Mack in the house. Make it Mac, Daddy. What's happening, man?
Giant week is still waiting, Jimmy. The intro was great, but I think I've been pretty good all year. Just this show, it's been a little bit difficult.
I know you've been a monster all year, and I know the super contest looks have been really, really succeeding. So I know that.
Let's get into today. I might have wrangled a couple that are already backfired on me. Let's rock it.
We got to move quickly here, and let's go. We don't have the clearest look on C-Mac, Jose. Should we pull him out and bring him in? It's blurry. What do you think here?
It'll fix itself eventually.
It'll fix itself out. Okay. First up for CMAC is Cowboys Washington football team. We've talked all about the injury situation. We've talked about the COVID situation for Washington and Tony Pollard not there for the Cowboys. We've seen the Washington football team total under being given out by Peter Loshak. We've seen Pavy move on to 6.5 for the Cowboys. CMAC, what do you want to do here?
Well, I hope to say it. I'm already in this. I've already wrangled Slaughter on Washington this week. And I'm on them. There's nothing I'm not going back now. I'm not flipping it here. I'm on the Washington football team. I've been on them spotty the last 4 weeks here, going back to the Tampa game. As long as Heineke can keep care of the ball, I think they're in this one. Everyone thinks this is a Cowboy spot, and it very well could be. They brought their benches to keep their asses warm. I saw this morning. The line move is not my way. But like I said, I've already locked this in. This is a divisional game. We're almost getting a touchdown here at home. So I'm on the Washington football team. I know you've gone over this game with other people here, Jimmy, a few times earlier. So, yeah, I'm on Washington here in the 6. As long as Heineke takes care of the ball, that Washington defense has played a lot better. They started playing 3 safeties, 2 linebackers, and they play a ton of zone. They play the most zone in all of the NFL. So, yeah, I think they play a ton of that today. I think they move the ball well, and against that Dallas secondary that I'm not huge on. And I'm going to take the Washington football team, a.k.a. I almost said the other word, so I always make that mistake.
You almost did name them. Washington plus 6.5 at -110. You are locked in there. And that's a fascinating take. That's a fascinating take. I've not seen that take. Is that part of your super contest picks?
Yeah, well, I didn't think of all the COVID this morning. I'm in it. Yeah, like I said, I wrangled Slaughter in on that, and let's just say we don't have 6.5. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's a funny breakdown. Okay, next up, 49ers Bengals. We've broken this down heavy, and it is such a fascinating game. I can't wait to hear your take because I'm close to making additions here on my own card. I was a little surprised that Pistol went with the Bengals over, but he thinks Burrow's going to be able to throw the ball against the secondary, and there's only 23.5 for the team total. How are you making money off this spot?
Not only I like that spot that Pete mentioned, I'm on the over here. The Bengals, to me, aren't a very good secondary. Both quarterbacks here are turnover prone. Garoppolo, I don't trust. He's been a little bit better on the road. 49ers are going to over their last 2. I was on an under with the Vikings, Jimmy. Remember, Babano was the opposite. That shit was over in the 3rd quarter. So the Bengals have gone over in 5 of 6, and that lone one, I was on that Raider, all those field goals early. That game would have went over. That went to 45. We're looking at 48.5. I mean, I guess there's 49s. Now, whatever you can get me the best. As long as we're under 50, we get over 49. I just see over here. I don't think both secondaries aren't very good here. Give me the over. Over, Rover.
I think I'm going to join you on this. While I'm line shopping here, if you had a free $500 bet on the side and it was at -2, even though we see 2.5s on the board now, what would you do?
I take the Bengals to bounce back. I think they're 6-1 ATS off a loss. They are at home. Good weather. I'm not wild about it, but Bengals.
By the way, if you want that, please tell me Bet3 so I didn't go to 49.5. They didn't yet. 49.5s are on the board now, but you can get over 49 at -106. I think I'm going to run with you on this. I really do. With Logan Wilson out and then the issues in the secondary, I just think this makes a ton of sense, and I got to get on it before that hook jumps on. Okay, we have CMAC on the board on 2 spots. Let's keep rolling. Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I love that you're talking about this game. I love that we got Pistol Pete steak on this game, and we're going to get Big Ragu steak on this game. Fucking love it. This game is very interesting. Take it away, CMAC.
I wonder what Ragu's on this game. He might be different from me. I think he might like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I don't blame him. They're ATS. They're unreal at home. Defending Super Bowl champs, and I could see him easily covering this number. But I'm taking the Bills, who I haven't taken all year, I think, Jimmy. I think I might have took them once. Now we get them 3 in the hook. They don't run the ball. Tampa's the best run defense. 4 even. Yeah, it's moved to 4. Yeah, I saw it earlier this morning. They don't run the ball. Well, the Bucs are the number 1 team right up there stopping the run. I think Josh Allen will be able to throw it. This is another team in the Bills that's great bounce back. off of that tough in the wind, snow game that they lost in New England. The Bills defense still is playing solid. I think Brady will be able to do his. I just see a back and forth game, and you're going to give me 4 with this Bills team to keep it close. I'm all over it. I think Allen has a solid day here. Just don't turn it over too much, and give me the 4 with the Bills if you can get it.
Lamont Williams is on the Bucks. We had Pavy already move on the Bills. Lamont is also on the full game over. What do you think about this total? Pete kind of broke it down with the sharps on the under, and he was nervous to move on it. What do you think?
I'm too nervous to move on the under here. I think it could go over. I think the Bills, after that low-scoring last game, I think they'll be able to move it. I think the Bucks will be able to score. I mean, if it stayed under, it wouldn't shock me. If we see, especially early, maybe sluggish. But total is high in the NFL. We start getting up to 53, 54. It's not easy to get there.
So you would think like a possible first half under would be something that would interest you?
Yes. Yeah, I look at it that way. And then if it got rolling, the game, I could see it go over. I mean, with those two offenses.
Birdie, Pete said sharps were on the under. 30% of the tickets are on the under, and 41% of the cash is on the under. So clearly some big bets have come in on the under.
Yes.
So, yes, I would tend to – I mean, obviously we don't have the – we don't know for certain, but I would say yes. I would say it appears that sharps are on the under. Okay, we keep rolling with C-Mac. We got Big Ragu on deck. I love this show. Next up we move. Okay. So you've got the Rams Cardinals, and then we have a possible bet in the game that we find fascinating. So let's go to Rams Cardinals Monday nighter. Take it away.
Yeah, I think this is a fascinating game Monday night. I'm anti-Ram a little bit in this spot here. The Matt Stafford, I think, has shown up. I think the honeymoon was over. They beat some bad teams. They played some of the better teams in the NFL, and they've lost. He's turned the ball over. They got right. I thought that was the ultimate, last week when 31-10, that game stayed under. I had the under in it. But this is a different story here. I know in the past, the Rams, even with Goff, had beat the Cardinals, but I think they'll have trouble. Both teams are healthy here. Cardinals are Murray's back. They kind of had a hum-ho, got the victory in Chicago last week. And the thing is with this line, everyone thinks it's kind of a sucker line. I mean, if it moves to 3, everyone's going to take the Rams. This team is very public. People love taking it. So that's why I think it's just ending here at 2.5, and it stayed. So I'm not scared by it. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with the Cardinals here at home. Big Monday night game. And a Monday nighter, I don't know about the total. I didn't know if you want to talk about it. I'm not on it. This game could stay under, division game. We could start seeing points. The first game was 37-20. I think the Cardinals have their way. They're healthier. That defense, as long as they stop the run, Jimmy, the 2 losses the Cardinals have, and they're both at home, by the way. They've been undefeated on the road. They gave up 150 yards rushing. They gave up like 153 and 166 to the Panthers. So if the Rams want to win this game, they're going to have to run it. They're going to have to run it for, I think, 150 yards to be in it. But we got under the field goal. I'm going to take the Cardinals here. Give me Kyler Murray at home.
This is probably solidifying some things for me. Pavy's also on the cards, and over the years capping with him, I've almost never seen him go against this situation with 38% of the tickets, 68% of the cash on the Rams at this point. And he's really confidently going against it, believing exactly sort of what you are believing here, that the Rams are a public side and people believe in them more than they probably should because of how Stafford opened up the season. And what we've seen from the Cardinals over the last 5 weeks, regardless of Kyler Murray being in or out, there's a conscience at work. They didn't look that great at times, even though they still covered some big games with McCoy. I find that very, very fascinating, and I think you're kind of pushing me in that direction as well. I think I am going to end up moving on that spot. We got you Cards -2.5, -107. All right, last spot for you, but you can add anything you'd like as well. So let me know just if there's any other additions you want to add. But you have a possible bet here on Falcons Panthers, and I'm really nervous about my Falcons action here. I'm nervous about my Panthers team total under. It seems like sharps are on the Panthers, and that's taken me by surprise. It's 50-50 with the ticket breakdown with 38,333, but 67% of that cash is on the Panthers, and that's made me nervous. Made me very, very, very nervous here. maybe you can clarify the spot. But I'm already on Falcons plus 2.5, and the Panthers team total under 21.5. Should I be nervous, or where were you leaning, and are you going to move on it?
Yes, you should be nervous because it's the Falcons. And I am nervous as well. This team I've had problems with all year long in the years past is the Falcons here. I don't trust the Panthers. I think Walker is a starter here over Newton. He's a little better than Cam Newton. That offense doesn't scare me. I don't think the Falcons are very good defensively, but I think they can hang in this game. Close divisional matchup. Give me the 3 points. I'm moving on it, Jimmy. I've already decided it. I want the Falcons. I almost want it money line, but I'll take the points here with the Falcons. I think they can keep this game close. I just don't see the Panthers scoring a ton of points in this matchup. So if it's going to be tight, give me the 3 points. I think the Falcons have a chance to win. And I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe I'm backing Matt Ryan, but I'm doing it one more frickin' time.
Yeah, look, I get it. I just fear this is our last time doing it, in all honesty. Let me see if I can get you a better 3. Plus 3. I can get you plus 3 at minus 121 or minus 120. So there's a minus 120 at Sports Interaction. I was on a radio show and they were like, you should take the money line here. And for me, I have a rule with that. And if it's under 43, if the total's under 43, I take the points. And this is at 41. So I'm not too uncomfortable with that, taking the points. But do you want plus 3 at minus 120 or you want plus 2.5? But that's okay, cool. All right. Yeah. And is there anything else you'd like to add before we move on to the big review?
We're good. Let's get to Doc. I don't want to keep you too much. I know he's got to go. We only got about 20 minutes or so.
Incredible stuff, C-Mac. I know you got a giant. I mean, we've all been seeing how well you've done in NFL this year. It's just being a random fluke that it hasn't occurred here on the show, and I know it's going to happen very soon. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see a lot more of you, especially come playoff time when we're going to probably tweak the show a little bit on Tuesday. So we want you more involved. I love what you're doing in the college basketball show with Maxwell Smart. You can catch C-Mac Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern in NCAA basketball net profits alongside Maxwell Smart. Man, we love you, C-Mac. I don't get to work with you enough. Thanks for rolling with me.
Thanks for having me anytime. I'd love to be back on as soon as you can get me. I love talking football with you, Jimmy. Pastime of mine.
Let's go. Let's have a giant Sunday. There he is, C-Mac in the house. We close our show with the legend, the Big Ragoo in the house coming to us.
Let's go, baby. Let's not fuck around and get down to business real quick.
Okay. Let's get right to work, my man. It is great to see you. Big Ragoo on the show, 10-9 plus 0.44 units, coming off a nice 3-1 plus 2.19 unit week in week 12. That was his best performance on the show, and he's a nice winning day away from the top 5, currently ranked number 8. We have Raiders Chiefs to get your card started off, and I don't know where you're at I just know the games. I don't know where what your bets are, and I can't wait to hear. We have heard Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today on the Raiders plus 10. I'm on the Kansas City Chiefs team total under 29.5. How are you making money in this spot, Ragoo? Raiders Chiefs.
Yeah, shout out to our guy Ron, super guy, one of the fantastic cappers I ever associated with. But he's going against his old team, so he's not a homer, that's for sure. But I'm going to lean with I'm not leaning. I'm getting to the window with the chefs in this game here. Only because a couple items. Raiders are one of them teams that breaks it off my ass every time I go with them or against them. So I had to stick my foot back in the well again one more time with these guys to go against. I think with the way the Raiders are playing football, right? If you look at their last 5 games, they're averaging about 14 points on the loss side against a real weak effort. Off a bye against Washington. That was a telltale sign for me anyways. And the Chiefs, they're rolling. Their defense is playing outstanding football right now. And Andy Reid is getting them primed up. Mahomes had his issues early on. And I know it's a big number, but I just think and Kelsey has his best games when he plays the Raiders. And the Raiders, they're terrible against tight end, covering tight ends, the worst in the league. So this is all KC or pass for me. Matter of fact, I'm doubling down, taking KC in the first half and full game.
Ooh, wow. We can get you the minus 9.5. By the way, Pinnacle's moved it back to 10, as has Sports Interaction, but we can get you the 9.5 at minus 110 still. But it looks like that's going away. And from the first half scenario, we can get you a minus 6 at minus 110 as well. Pinnacle has that at minus 119, by the way. So Chiefs full game minus 9.5. and Chiefs first half -6 and -110. All right, we are rolling. Big Ragu back in the Chiefs in a big way, coming off a big week here when he joined us in week 12. Next up and Tasha saying KC owed them payback from that early loss. R says Raiders are too injured. Harold Williams with you on KC. And Clint started I Heart MMA podcast giving you love, Ragu. Next up is Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans. We saw Pavi move on the Titans at -8.5. This opened at 11 and been moving towards the Jaguars ever since. 29% of the tickets on the Jags, 34% of the cash. And then we have 53% of the tickets on the under, 67% of the cash. And the Jags full game right now are still available at 8.5. But Sports Interaction and Bodog have moved it to 9. Take it away, Big Ragu.
Yeah, so we know the struggles with Tennessee off of the Henry injury. They were kind of trying to not re-identify themselves, but just kind of establish their offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they're solid. I mean, they're like the third-ranked rushing defense in the league. And Jacksonville, Sunshine has put up 5 goose eggs as far as touchdowns go, and they're struggling. They're going to have to lean to the run first, obviously. Jacksonville will. We know that Tennessee's nicked up a little bit. The thing with the Titans, the past couple weeks, they went ahead and they took it on the chin versus the Texans, which was a bad look for them. And they had a pretty good loss, even though the numbers don't show it, against the Pats. Both of those guys, Hilliard and Foreman, came out with 100-yard rushing games and that. So that was like a good sign for me there. I know the numbers kind of dropped. I'm probably going to be a contrarian. I'm going to be with Pavi on this side. I'm gonna hit the Titans. I'm gonna lay the wood with the Titans at home. I think they got enough stuff happening, and plus they had the bye week. So and they get Jones back today. So there's a lot of positives coming out of that Pats game. Even though they took the L, I think it's a win going forward and they're going to get right against the Jags in this game.
Michael Robertson backing that says Titans -8.5. One of my favorite plays. Titans -8.5 at -106 for the Big Ragu. We are rolling. Next up is a fascinating game. I can't wait to hear you talk about it. First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Ravens, Browns, injury issues on both sides, especially the Ravens. Browns coming in off their bye week. I moved on the Browns on Tuesday -2.5, -105. We have cappers like Birdie that got in at +1. And right now, it's -3 right across the board. Looks like Will Hill hanging at 2.5. I'll see what Circa's doing. Take it away, Ragu, Ravens, Browns.
Yeah, initially, this game has underwritten all over it. Number one, you got to give Harbaugh a lot of credit for what he's done. They're 8-4 with the lineup he's had. I mean, they're still missing their 1s and 2s in the running back position. They have the number 3 run defense. Cleveland has the number 4 run defense. And what he did last time against Chubb and Hunt, less than 3 yards a carry. He's a mastermind when it comes to scheming. And I really like this spot here. Not for the win, but I think we're going to catch a low-scoring game. Baker seems to struggle against his team time in, time out. And not that his quarterback rating is like below 90. And I just think they're going to – I think the Ravens have a shot to win the game. If Lamar doesn't screw it up somehow, because he's thrown a pick like his last 4 games, and when Lamar is not when the pressure's on Lamar is when he's going to make the mistakes. So if he tries to do too much, he's going to throw the ball, make it happen, or throw the ball away. And then at the same time with Baker, Harbaugh just seems to have his number in that sense. So I think we're going to see struggles on both sides offensively early on. I kind of was going to lean like a first half under, but I'm going to lean to I know the line's ticked up a little bit, but I'm going to be on the full game under.
The full game is now at 44 from a 42.5 opener.
Yeah,
Bebsie moved on the 42.5 under on Tuesday, and now we see 44. When we go to the cash flow on this, the market backs you here. The sharps and the big bets back you. 45% of tickets on the under and 62% of cash is on the under. Birdie came in and said that over is getting steamed.
What's the weather up there? I don't think there's any kind of weather situation.
It's beautiful. It's windy. 17
miles
per
hour. It is 16 mile an hour winds up there, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense either. But I guess you're counting on Chubb and Hunt to have a big game, but they might be in for a little surprise unless they make some major adjustments. And you know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to take a play out of your book here. You said when the line is under 43, you'll take the team plus the points versus the money line. I'm going to take the Ravens on the money line also.
Ravens money line going for a big score. I want to line shop and get you the best possible score there on the money line. Nuke Workers on the Browns -2.5. So am I. And I almost didn't bet it because I've got a ton of futures on the Browns. And if they lose this game, I lose them all probably. If they win this game, I'm live on all. Well,
it's a big game. It's a big game for the Browns.
Huge game. And our guy Ike Schnizzle there as we speak. I love it. He put out a video of him driving to the game with music blasting, saying "fuck the Ravens," and then we had a couple Baltimore guys come in. Basil from Baker Street. Just by looking at his picture, you don't mess with Basil from Baker
Basil's
Street.
a dude, man. I was chatting with him this morning a little bit. So
he just fingered. Oh no, I don't mean CT base. This is a different.
Okay,
I love CT base. This is a Basil from. I looked up Baker Street in Baltimore and zero jokes. I'm gonna tell zero jokes about Baker Street. Tell you that much. Okay, Ravens money line. I'm gonna line shop for you. Let's move on to the next up while I'm line shopping. New York Giants 4-8, 1-5 on the road. The Chargers 7-5, 3-3 at home. SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. We know the Chargers are dealing with injuries. Sante Samuel concussion and Gilman out, and also Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen not going to play because of COVID. Take it away here, Giants Chargers, while I line shop.
Yeah. How about this? The Giants haven't scored a touch. A wide receiver, a running back hasn't scored a touchdown for the Giants in 5 games. That's fucking unbelievable right there, man. So, we had their struggles. To be fair to them a little bit, they've been in and out with injuries on the offense. All their key players, they haven't had a good look on the offensive line and skill position players. And then the Chargers, to their credit, they eat when Eckler and when Keenan Allen are involved, but they have no Keenan Allen today. Williams, if you're a fantasy player, I would look towards Williams today because I think he's going to get a lot of play. I don't know what his numbers are, but in the meantime, but the Giants defense is pretty decent overall, but they kind of get shat on because of the fact that, the offense goes nowhere fast. But Glennon came in. I don't think he did a bad job. He just held on to the ball a little bit too much in the last game. I like it. I like him coming in, believe it or not, because he's a seasoned veteran. He can read defenses. And the thing I was looking at, I was trying to figure out how can I bet the Giants in the spot. I know that the Chargers give up almost 28 points a game. So if anybody can help the Giants offense out, it's going to be the Chargers defense because they're down like next to last in the league. So I think I'm going to look towards the Giants in the first half to get 7.5 points at a plus price. And I think overall, last time I looked, I found like plus 115. I don't know what you can find, but that was my look. I think Glennon is sharp enough, and we get Barkley back. So Barkley, he's good for that one play since he's been hurt. So hopefully he can stay in the spot and be productive for the Giants. Get him some good blocks, and maybe he reels off a play or two, and make the difference in the total for the Giants. I know the number is 9.5, 10 as far as on the plus side with the Giants full game.
Yes, but wow, this is a very interesting look. You're talking first half team total over for the Giants 7.5.
Yeah,
that's at plus 117. Pinnacle.
I want that. I want to take the Giants over the first half team total 7.5 points.
Wow, that's a. Oh, by the way, I got you plus 135 on the money line.
All right, wow. I'll take it.
That is a fascinating look here. Giants team total first half team total over 7.5 at plus 117. A big plus line associated with that.
I don't think they scored. The last 3 games they scored like 9, 10, and I went to that Bucks game a couple weeks ago where they scored 10 points. But they just been struggling immensely offensively, and I think this could be a spot where they might wake up. Maybe the trip to the West Coast will put a spark in their ass a little bit just to kind of freshen things up, a little change of scenery for them, and who knows? With the Chargers, like I said, the Chargers will give up points. So we'll see. It's a week-to-week league, man. it's so tough. NFL is the toughest around, no doubt about it.
God, I think it's a really fascinating spot. Razor Sharp picks 7 plays today. He's showing us his full card. Thank you, Razor, for that. That's Raiders Chiefs under 48, Jets plus 5.5. Ravens Browns under 44, so he's with Ragu there. Washington plus 6.5, Bills plus 3.5, Nets Pistons under 211.5, and Pelicans plus 2.5. I love it. Okay, everybody wants to hear your take on this one. Ragu, everybody. Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Have you hinted at this with your choice of wardrobe?
Yeah, well, I kind of tip my hat, no pun intended, for that a little bit. But, when I'm peeling back the game, and I'm going to be brief, probably like about 2 minutes I'll spend on this. So Buffalo early on, they were the darlings. They're talking Buffalo and Tennessee were like, those are the two teams in the AFC. A lot of all that was not so much anymore. Buffalo's kind of turned in, even though Allen is a nice player and Buffalo's defense is pretty decent. They're tops in the league in a lot of categories. But the teams they went ahead and beat up on, they on the road, they score points. They average like 31 points on the road. But, Buffalo's yielding like 14, but 0 against the Dolphins, 0 against the Saints, 6 against the Jags, 17 against the Jets. And the big game, 20 points they gave up versus the Chiefs on the road. Well, guess what? They're not playing the fucking Jets. They're not playing the Dolphins. They're playing Tom fucking Brady. 32-3 against the Bills lifetime. 32-3, okay? That's all I need to worry about right there. You give me Tom Brady in this situation, he owns this team, and they're playing in Tampa where they score. On the road, it'd be a little different story. They're playing in Tampa. I know the numbers crept up to 4. I really don't see this as a field goal type of game. Now, 4 is a little tricky because, obviously you trade touchdowns and field goals and you can catch that number, especially with the total being 53, which is a high number. That tells me there's going to be points scored in the game. So you're going to see explosive plays from both sides of the team, both sides of the ball with both teams. The difference is going to be Tampa is not probably going to be able to bring that pass rush. They'll be able to slow the run down, which Buffalo is iffy. But, we got to watch Allen, spy him. And if they're successful with that, if they contain Allen, I'm not going to say it's going to be a long day for them. I don't think they'll blow them out. But we can easily see a 7 to 10 point victory from Tampa. And then the other way the only way that Tampa loses this game if Brady throws a couple picks or they fumble the ball away, because I can't see them losing in Raymond James where they thrive 38 points a game. It's it's Tampa or bust for me.
And
32-3.
Do we want to see the other alternate lines here on? They just ditched them. The other alternate lines. Do you want to see what it costs to get a 3, or you? Because the I'm sure we could get a better line here. Let me just check. Here we go. The minus. Well, it's minus 3.5 though on the Bucks is minus 105 at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the sharp number at Pinnacle.
But at 3, it's minus 130. So let's get you this right now. Let me just see what circa.
It's either going to be either Brady's going to win by 7 or lose by 3. That's how the game's going to go.
Oh wow. Right now, as we speak, Circa just moved the 3 to minus 121.
That's fine. I'll take that.
Yeah. Okay. So Buccaneers minus 3 is available at Circa right now. Buccaneers minus.
Well, how about they asked fucking last week with the Bucks? They were setting up for the field goal. I had the Colts. Rule number 1: don't bet against Tom Brady. Rule number 2: see rule number 1. Rule number 3: see number 1. Don't bet against Tom Brady.
You're a lucky man that you get to cheer for him. I tell you that much. There he is, the big Ragu. We are 7 minutes till kickoff. 7 minutes, and I guess I'm not going to add anything to the 1 p.m. games. I don't think, although I am interested in that under in Ravens Browns. But with the Ravens, you know what? I think I'll just watch it. I guess I've got enough on that game with the Browns to go. But here is Big Ragu's card. Again, 10-9 plus 0.44 units on the show, coming off a 3-1 plus 2.19 unit week. In his last 2 showings here with us, he's 6-3 plus 3.04 units. He's on Chiefs full game minus 9.5, minus 110. Chiefs first half minus 6 and minus 110. Titans minus 8.5 at minus 106. He's on the under 44 at minus 103 in Baltimore, Cleveland. He's on the Ravens plus 135. He's on the Giants first half team total over 7.5 at plus 117. And the Buccaneers minus 3 and minus 121. Ski Profit is on Vegas, Kansas City under 48, and Dallas, Washington under 48. Thank you for sharing that with us, Ski. Prince of the City says only Bebsie bets against Tom. Terrific. I love this. I cherish all the chances we get to hang out together. I miss gambling with you in person, and I know we'll be doing that soon because we need you in San Antonio for the last 2 weeks of March, and we'll let everybody know about that as soon as we get the dates locked in. But thank you for sharing the screen with me, my man.
Always a
Great
pleasure, man.
work.
Love you guys. Love the chat. Hey, everybody, let's have a day today. Let's kick these bookies right in the mouth.
Right in the mouth. At the Big Ragoo 62. Follow him on Twitter. All right, we kick off in 6 minutes. I am not going to add anything here in the early game, but if I can get this 49 in Bengals Niners. Yes, I can. I just click on it. Don't say 49. I think I'm going to move on that. I believe I'm going to move on that. All right, let's do a quick review, but we're going to have to end this really quickly as it's kickoff in 5 minutes. But thank you guys for supporting the show here and giving us cappers an opportunity to get so excited about the cards, study, not pay attention to our wives. And it means the world. Okay, here we go. This is the action here. I am going for my 7th straight winning week. I'm on Browns -2.5. Jacks at -105. Jacksonville, Tennessee under 44 -110. Chiefs team total under 29.5. Jets +5.5. Falcons +2.5. I'm nervous about. Panthers team total under 21.5. I'm nervous about. And these last three have a lot of juice associated with them. Lions team total under 16.5. It's now at 13.5. It's now at 13.5. So, but that cost me on Tuesday. I feel good about it, but it's a juicy. And then we have Giants team total under 16.5 -120. And I'm actually nervous about that one too, just because of the juice I had to pay. Bebsie's on Baltimore, Cleveland under 42.5. Jacksonville, Tennessee under 44.5. Chiefs team total under 29.5. Cowboys -3.5. Killed that market move. Broncos -7.5. Killed that market move. Bengals pick them. That's gone against them. And Rams, Arizona under 52 -109. Javonte Williams over 67.5 rush yards. And he's doubled up on the Packers running backs. We're now 4 minutes till kickoff for Pavi. Pavi's got a big card here. Texans +10. Titans -8.5. Cowboys -6.5. Ravens +3. Giants +9.5. Bills +4. Bears +12. Cards -2.5. Then Pistol Pete Loshak, Washington team total under 21.5. Bengals team total over 23.5. Mike Evans over 16.5 receiving yards. I imagine that's going to cash easily because I never see Pete betting player props, and I've tried to cut them out of all of my action here. Turnsies on Bills first half money line. That's exciting. Walla Dos, I love you, man. Curtis Berry, thank you for all your insights and everything that you've brought to the show. Then we have Sharpie. He's on Jacobs rushing and receiving over 106.5. Moreau receiving over 32.5. Kamara rushing and receiving over 105.5. Hill passing and rushing over 255.5. Allen rush yards over 33.5. Beasley receiving over 4.5 receptions. Uzoma under 23.5 receiving yards of the Bengals. Cooper Kupp under 95.5 receiving yards. And his hitting under in the player prop market has been very successful for him. And I really think that's, if I was to ever re-enter that market, I would think I should probably have a rule where I'm only looking for unders. Sorry, not flush. I am talking fast. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Sorry. Hey, that doesn't count for Kristen. Kristen is the one wife, and she caps with you. Look, if my girl capped with me, that would really help our future. It would really help out. You're a lucky man. Mike, you're a lucky man. All right. Then we have, sorry, Kristen. I apologize for that. CMAC is on Washington +6.5 -110. Over 49 -106. Bills +4 at -110. Cards -2.5 -107. Falcons +3 at -120. And then I've already let you know Big Ragoo's action. Also added this little bad boy to the family yesterday. Going to be wearing that tonight. A poker baby. All right, let's have a Giant Sunday. Happy Grey Cup. Happy football. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. Let's get 7 straight winning weeks. I want it bad. This week hurt me, and it hurt my family's Christmas gifts as well. I'm not sure if they know about that. On behalf of all of us at Pub Sports Radio, we can't do this without you guys. Love you all. Thank you for your support. 1 minute away. We are 1 minute away from kickoff. On behalf of all of us, let's get that cash. Leche. Hey, those bookmakers!